Alrighty, so today I want to talk about future LR EZAs that we are anticipating over here on the global NJP Dokkan side of things. Now, with these, they're only going to be LRs, so keep that in mind. And with that being said, we are going to evaluate the kits. We're going to look at them, see what we want from them, and then last but not least, kind of like give a range or a prediction of when I think they could potentially be. You got to keep in mind that I don't know nothing, right, when it comes to like when these characters are going to be able to EZA, when the information or when the celebrations that they're taking part of are going to be in, and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind as we are going through. This is all just hypothetical. It's all just discussion. It is just for fun. Now, one character that I forgot to pull up as I was looking at this, I don't know if I have to go, I probably have to go to the second page for this one, because like I said, we're only doing LRs in this video. So the first LR that I want to look at is actually now the oldest summonable LR without an EZA, and that is pretty cool. And that is going to be Angel Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. This is a promise made to Kakarot. You know, Kakarot, you are glorious. Shout out to Legends. So what is this character doing, and where do we need to fix things? I think that the first thing that jumps off the page to me is that this 18 key super attack effect is garbanzo beans. This has to go. It causes mega colossal damage and greatly lowers defense. In the modern era, where defensive raising is so important, you know, that slot 2 defensive capabilities that a character is going to need, this character is going to need way more defense from his super, especially considering that the 18 key super attack literally does no buffs to themselves. It's literally only debuffing the enemy, and there are a lot of events in the game where lowering defense is just not an option. So that is the first thing that I noticed right off the page with this kit. I think that we could easily see something like that. The 12 key is not bad, right? Raising defense for 1 turn. We've seen that plenty in our day. But looking at the passive, you guys can see it is a little bit tricky. I think that there is potential here, especially if we raise this number to higher than 70%. Attack and defense plus 70% start a turn. Nowhere near enough. We're literally talking like 300 plus is where we are sitting these days with some characters. You look at like somebody like Jiren and some of the numbers that he can get up to. We definitely need to modernize that. 70% is just not enough. And we are way too category and name restricted here in the passive in order to kind of fix things, right? So the unit super attack is good, right? This is easy to get because there's a lot of Majin Buu Saga Gokus that are pretty decent right now, but it's just, we need to up this, really. That's kind of like the big thing that jumps off the page to me. I could easily see this EZA happening during the 10-year anniversary, because like they kind of like to throw filler ones in. Like we think about the 9-year anniversary. I think that, you know, when we saw Broly Trio and the STR Goku, they weren't particularly tied to like, you know, the correlation of the characters, right? You know, you think about like superheroes and stuff like that. Like obviously superheroes and super bosses were what they were focusing on, but more specifically, it wasn't like a year prior anniversary or anything like that. Like STR Goku came out like right at the end of spring of 2020, so keep that in mind. So I think that this character definitely do. We are over 4 years old now, so definitely want this character to see an EZA. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and this is going to be Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Now, this guy has decent super attack effects, right? I think we could get like massively raises attack and defense on both of these for 1 turn, right? Lowering defense by a lot, that helps. We definitely could use a little bit more, right, in terms of like damage and stuff like that. But this character is meant to sort of be a nuking character. So if we can get extra defense, we can maybe get some damage reduction. We can get some guard, you know, the baseline and stuff like that. Maybe evasion chance per key sphere obtained, and then become like a tech orb changer or something like that. I could really see this character kind of being sicko mode, and I think that would be really fun. So that is where I want this character to be. This active skill is really fun, especially because movie heroes category allies whose name includes Goku shouldn't be too hard to get these days, because the movie heroes team, looking at what it was when it came out compared to what it is now, is night and day. So I think that this EZA could potentially be really fun, and that's why I have him on the list. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and that is going to be Tapion and Minotia. Bringer, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're excited. But this character is another old summonable LR that is over 3 years old and 8 months almost. So they just need to be more than a super attack, or a support unit, right? You guys can see, reduces damage received by 13%. That number needs to go up. If we could like double, maybe if we like double that or triple that even. So like this character triple supers, they have what, 39? So it's like what, 39, and then 39% per would be too much because it would go over 100. Maybe if it was 26 per super and they like triple supered, right? Because then that would get us up to 78 percent damage reduction if they did a triple super. So I think that would be pretty good, right? Because then they have that extra chance of getting an additional super attack when they do their 18 key. as long as we can just get extra ki, you know, they're doing support for categories that really don't matter. Their active skill is really good, with negative effects being, you know, we could undo a lock. You could do all kinds of fun stuff with this. So potentially, I think that this character could be really good as a support unit, but I want them to be a little bit better overall, considering all the support that they can do. They don't have enough for themselves, right? Because the modern day, like, major LR is doing everything for themselves, and they're also supporting, right? They're giving crit chance, they're giving ki, they're giving extra attack, they're giving extra defense. Well, this character has a chance to do all of that with ki, attack, defense, and on their active skill, remove a lock, you know, remove a seal, remove a stun. Really valuable active skill that would kind of go, I think this active skill effect goes under the radar, right? Like, technically, you would have to protect the hell out of them, but technically you could bring this character into a difficult event that has like a lock or something, and that could bail you out. So, you know, you never know. I think that this character potentially does have a little bit of usage, but again, it's just offensively and defense, they are just not up to where they need to be now, and that is why they need the EZA. So when could this character get an EZA? Whenever they want to revisit another Z movie, potentially if they do like Super Gogeta for the anniversary or something like that, maybe they could toss this guy in during like one of the, where the Broly trio was. You never know. So let's go ahead and move on. You can never beat him when he's Super 17. The GT Bosses team, still bad, right? I don't know why he leads this when he is based on Target Goku and androids. So kind of an interesting thing here. I could see this guy potentially working like okay with Cell Max, right? No big bad bosses does make things a little bit tricky. So like Cell Max would be good for him, but he wouldn't be good for Cell Max, right? It is kind of tricky just because, like, if we look at the best linking partners on this character, yeah, it's like he does share 4 links. I guess that's not horrible, but I don't know. Like, you look at Zamasu, like, he's an okay linking partner. Cell Max is obviously really good, but like Omega would be okay on the GT Bosses team. Like, if this guy could be really good, he'd work well for really well for Omega Shenron. It's just tough, right? Because androids, Target Goku, and GT Bosses, like GT Bosses and Target Goku don't really mesh that well, right? Just kind of like separate agendas of what the villains were trying to do, and it doesn't really work that well. So maybe if we up this to be like major, you know, we're talking like double this or something like that, like 34% per, right? Damage reduction received by 30% after the turn, right? That damage reduction would need to be like tripled. So if we're talking like 51% maybe with guard, we would be in business. But again, it's going to be really tricky. So it's tough, but I think that this guy potentially could have some stuff here. You know, we need to get buffs on both of the super attacks, defensive buffs. That's going to be a major thing. I think that we could really be seeing something that works out well with this character, right? So that's basically it with Super 17. Whenever they want to revisit GT, that's when we can start talking about the CZA. Now, we're going to move through these two quickly because we've talked about them multiple times when it comes to like hype EZAs. We know exactly when these guys are coming out, and that is going to be part 3 of the 10th anniversary. So we know when that is. That's not that far away. It's a little over 2 months and some change, and we will have these guys. I think that they have really good skeletons. They just need a little bit more, maybe some damage reduction in base, and then just a little bit better attack and defensive numbers, and we're really going to be in business with these characters. So the 7-year anniversary EZAs, we don't need to speculate on these ones too much because we know exactly what they're coming with. Next, Namek Goku. This one's tricky, right? I think he should have a guaranteed crit when there is an extreme class enemy. I think that would really make this character like go offensively, right? Give him some guard, give him some damage reduction, maybe give him both, and then one of them wears off. I would prefer the guard wears off after like 3 turns or something like that, just so this character has time to build up. Make it so they raise attack and defense. They permanently stack it on both super attack effects, so you don't have to prioritize the 12 ki. We should be good to go, right? This active skill is a really good finishing move, so basically everything I'm about to say about this character is going to copy and paste over to Frieza. I think he should have a guaranteed critical hit against superclass enemies, and I think we could really be in business, right? Because these characters actually have like a lot in their kit, right? It's not like a modern day passive, right? But there's stuff in here, right? We get guaranteed additionals when we get hit, so if they can go in slot 1, we're going to get at least 2 supers, right? We're getting the attack buff against extreme class enemies as well as being in the 2nd slot. The same thing's going to be said for here. And like I said, these guys are basically just mirrors or like opposites of each other, but they basically do the same thing just in reverse order. So, you know, the 12, you want the 18 ki with Frieza for defense, you want the 12 ki for defense with Goku, right? And then vice versa. So that's where these EZAs are kind of at. I could really easily see them doing these during the anniversary, considering that Namek has kind of teased or has been teased in these 10th anniversary ads. So something to keep your eye on for sure, but these EZAs are going to be super exciting. So finishing up the last 3 here, we have Hit and God Goku. Really, I'm just looking for these guys to be a maybe greatly raise on both of their super attack effects, and I'm just looking for these guys to be like a good floater on the Tournament of Power team. Not a whole lot going here, right? We got to like basically rework this character. We have to give them the normal stuff. We have to give them a little bit of guard. We have to give them a little bit of damage reduction. We need to increase the dodge chance. We just need to make them more defensive, right? And if the dodge chance is very prominent, then this character could potentially be in really good business. So that's really all I have to say about these guys. If we revisit the Tournament of Power, I'm definitely looking forward to them being up. Next, we have Future Gohan and Trunks. This character has a revive, and after the revive, Future Gohan is insane. So, like, not now, but damage reduced by 58% with modern numbers could potentially be really good. We give him some extra guard on top of that, and we are really in business, right? We need to raise defense on the super attack effects, and we are good to go. Revives, we have a scouter. Like, this character, this version of the character is really good. We just need that base to be a bit more acceptable, so that way he can actually be ran on like a Future Saga team. And I can see this character potentially working really well with STR Future Gohan, right? I think that rotation would just be a lot of fun. I know Future Gohan has, he has some shooters, man. People really like this character, so I'm looking forward to this EZA. Last but not least, we have Vegeta and Trunks. I think these guys are a little bit of a reach considering they're just a little bit over 2 years old, but they don't need much. They really just kind of need higher numbers and maybe some damage reduction built in, and they are good to go. So don't want to leave you guys here all day. That is 10 future LR EZAs. I think I actually ended up covering 11, but we'll say 10 for the video that I am really excited for in the future. Let me know down below what EZAs for LRs or just for TURs, anybody in general. Who are you excited for in the comment section below? Don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss out on any of the Dokkan content we're doing around here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.